guys. Okay, it's me. Um, I, I am doing this. I am back. I'm sorry. I'm very weird. I know. But I got these new headphones, and I want you to tell me if you can hear them. Hear me with them on. Yeah, please. More Than They Bargained For by Spooky Bunny, Chapter 4. Stay away! The classes were supposed to be starting any minute, but Katsuki wasn't intending to go to any of them that day. He'd never considered himself someone who ran away from his problems. Katsuki had always looked down on people like that. Cowards, he thought. He didn't have any respect for it. But his encounter with Todoroki that morning had banished his pride. He'd felt restless all night the night before and had decided to do some early morning training to calm down. He calmed himself down. He'd been taking a break on one of the benches when that scent came along. It had been the most amazing, intoxicating scent he'd ever experienced. And immediately he knew what it was. But the discovery, this delicious smell, his fucking soulmate scent was coming from fucking Shoto Todoroki. Had set him running. And now here he was, still unshowered, still in his workout clothes, locked in a single bathroom in the UA's main building, where he'd been hiding for the past hour. He stood up with his back pressed flat against the door, while on the other side, people pounded away at it, urging him to come out. "Bakugo!" Aizawa's voice sounding irritated. "Open this door or I'll suspend you for a month." "Young Bakugo!" All Might's voice joined in. "Do not be afraid. Open this door. Come on, man," Kirishima implored, pounding at the extra hard at the door behind him. "Don't be like this. This isn't like you, dude. Bakugo, for fuck's sake, even Roundface was trying to get him out at this point. It's okay, we want to help you. Please open the door." Bakugo slid down against the door until he was sitting on the ground, pulling his knees to his chest. He ignored the pounding fists and the voices of people begging him to come out. Burying his face in his arms, he slowly breathed in and out, trying to get a hold of himself. This couldn't be fucking happening, he thought. There was no way. There was no fucking way. Half and half? Really? Bakugo had been waiting his whole fucking life for the moment he'd meet his soulmate, and it was fucking Todoroki? Another alpha? What kind of joke is this? This can't be happening, he muttered to himself. There's no fucking way. A burst of rage took over him. He released a massive explosion into the bathroom. It left soot on the sink and toilet and singed the walls. Bakugo! Aizawa said, "Do not damage school property with your tantrums." "Bakugo, man," Kirishima said while one fist, probably his, pounded even harder than before. "Don't lose control. You'll hurt yourself." He just wanted a place to think, and no one could just leave him the fuck alone. Thank God Deku wasn't there today. He'd be the most annoying one. Deku would have probably already broken the fucking door. He could hear him now. Kachan, come out of this bathroom. Kachan! Katsuki really would have really blown up then, or he didn't know. He was glad Deku was sick that day. Katsuki had always hoped that. He didn't know how, but he hoped that when the day finally came, maybe it would have been. He covered his face with his hands, wallowing in his own self-pity. Thank fuck Deku wasn't there today. "Bakugo, shut up!" he screamed. "Shut up!" he screamed, releasing another explosion. "Leave me the hell alone! All of you, just fucking leave me alone!" The pounding on the door ceased, and he could hear murmurs of whispers outside. At last, he could hear the sounds of footsteps walking away, and soon silence reigned outside. He sighed with relief. Hey, it was shitty here again. Fuck, he didn't know when to quit. Bakugo, I know this isn't what you were expecting. I think we're all surprised. I guess it's pretty weird for you. Katsuki didn't answer, praying that his friend would just go away. Kirishima sighed heavily from the other side of the door. Anyway, he continued, when you want to come out, you can talk to me. I know that's not your thing, but I'm here for you, man. He didn't say anything more, and soon Katsuki could hear his footsteps walking away. He put his head back in his arms, groaning in exhaustion. He wanted to leave. His mind was abuzz, thinking about how he could sneak out of the main building without getting caught. Then he'd go back to the dorm and hide in his room instead. No, better, he'd go home. Anything to put distance between him and this place. Now that no one is outside, he should probably get moving, but he felt stuck on the floor, unable to move. This wasn't going to be something he could run away from forever. He needed to graduate to become a hero, and in order to do that, he was going to have to see an awful lot of his new soulmate. His life felt like it was quickly spiraling out of control, and he didn't like it. Katsuki had always been in control before. He stayed there on the floor of the bathroom for a long time before somebody knocked on the door again. It's occupied, he yelled, too tired to put his usual anger into it. Permanently. It's me, a calm voice responded. Katsuki froze, his heart rate speeding up. It was him. He didn't want to open the door. He knew he'd have to face him eventually, but he didn't want that eventually to be now. Fuck, what a coward he'd become. He was beyond mortified. What the fuck do you want, Icy Hot? Wait, I gotta do something. He snapped. He didn't have much energy left in him to throw another tantrum like the one he did earlier. He felt unusually drained, physically, mentally, and emotionally. To tell you something, the voice replied to him. It pissed him off how Scarface sounded so calm at a time like this. Didn't he get what was going on? Didn't he understand how terrible this was? Can't you tell me through the door? He asked. No reply came from the other side. After moments of waiting for an answer, Katsuki scowled, getting on his feet. He unlocked the door, ripping it open. He was standing outside the door, waiting for him. Katsuki took back what he said about calm. He may have sounded calm from the other side of the door, but the half-hot, half-cold quirk user certainly didn't look it. It was subtle, though. As he had expected most things about him were. There was a shadow of concern over his features as his eyes roamed over Katsuki. That scent wafted into the bathroom, stronger now than it had been earlier that morning. Now that Todoroki stood right in front of him, it made Katsuki shiver a little, and his knees felt a little weak. The scent triggered something within him that he couldn't completely identify, but he felt like he really wanted to reach out and see if Todoroki's skin was as soft as it looked. He grimaced at the thought. This was going to be hell. Well, Katsuki said, leaning against the doorframe. He tried not to look at his newfound soulmate for too long, doing his best to ignore how fucking good this other boy smelled. Todoroki seemed to regain himself, face morphing into something close to an unusual stoic demeanor, though not quite. The principal wants to speak to us. He glanced at the bathroom, his eyes darting around, surveying the damage from Katsuki's explosion. Stayed calm, I see. Rage barking up at him. Katsuki shoved past him. Yeah, well, he said, not all of us are made of ice, are we, Frosty? He marched his way to the principal's office with Todoroki not far behind. Okay, I gotta stop here. I'm tired and I just ate. Sorry.